Alright guys, welcome to the channel. I am OGL Schmitt. This is Custom OGT, and starting to feel a little bit sleepy, which can mean only one thing. It's time to go to bed. No, actually it is time to dive back into Sleep Token. So OGTeam member raisedbywolvesz wanted us to react to Even in Arcadia, which is the title track from Sleep Token's most recent album. We've reacted to a few Sleep Token songs on the channel. It's always a pleasure to react to them. It's always interesting because they're a very unique band, very enigmatic, and they throw a lot of twists and turns at you. The saxophone in Emergence, for instance, really caught me off guard. So yeah, I'm looking forward to diving into this. So thank you, Big Will. Guys, if you want to join the OG team, it starts at $3, which is it's a good value because you get 2 songs of your choice reacted to every month. A lot of very cool exclusive content. You can join our Discord. Maybe some of you guys can educate me on Sleep Token lore, or just leave a like, a subscribe, and a comment, and that helps us out. We're independent operations, shoestring budget, so every little bit helps. But your time is your greatest investment, and I'm very grateful for that. So without any further ado, thank you for enduring the sales pitch, and let's get into some Sleep Token, shall we?
Swing wide those gates, 'cause I have paid my penance kindly, waiting time for judgment day. Somehow I knew my fate. Turns out the gods we thought were dying were just sharpening their blades. Have you been waiting long for me?
All right, this is a quick pause, but it's Vessel dumped a lot on us very quickly there. Sleep Token is absolutely fantastic at setting a tone and building an atmosphere. So I love the atmospheric sounds at the beginning. I love the piano. The piano melody here is so beautiful. And when Vessel's voice comes in, he has such a unique sound. There's a certain type of resonance in his sound, and I've compared him to the singer in Tears for Fears before. There's a similar resonance and like vowel shaping that they do. Yeah, he started off with like a lot of diphthongs. Gate, Judgment Day, and this very definitive transition between the 2 vowels, I guess is what I'm saying. And I guess it adds a bit of longing to the sound. The same thing for that pause between have you been waiting, and then for me. So right off the bat, there's a lot of longing in the song. Arcadia is kind of like an Eden, usually in mythology. So it's a paradise. So even the phrase, pull this up here, even in Arcadia, it comes from a phrase, et in Arcadia ego, which means even in Arcadia I am. I think might have been John Milton that wrote that. I'm not sure. If anyone in the comments knows, let me know. Any education you guys can give me on Sleep Token, I'm very grateful. But it's basically saying that even in an idyllic place, there still may be some shadows. No place is perfect, basically. And I appreciate Vessel tackling that topic because I think it's interesting when people talk about a utopia. And I'm thinking to myself, like, that's impossible because there's no way to create a world that's perfect for everybody because everybody desires different things. So I think what Vessel is saying here is that, yeah, as much as you might yearn for this paradise, don't think that there aren't going to be things, shadows, lingering doubts and darkness that will not follow you there. So I'm going to start this from the beginning again. I might stop and point out a couple of specific things, but other than that, we're just going to let this roll. It's interesting. It's like a fallen kingdom, it seems, overgrown with this red plant. And then the burning flag there. The visual imagery is very compelling as well. Such a beautiful opening.
Come now, swing wide those gates, 'cause I have paid my penance kindly, waiting time for judgment day.
Okay, so right off the bat, I love how you could hear his first inhale. Even that adds an almost desperate touch to things. And then, swing wide those gates in time for Judgment Day. It's just very cool stylistic choices from Vessel. I think the perfect voice for this kind of lore-heavy atmospheric music, because there is something intangible about his voice that's very unique and unlike any other. But it's just packed with emotion as well. So go back a little bit here.
Come now, swing wide those gates, 'cause I have paid my penance kindly, waiting time for judgment day.
There it is.
Somehow I knew my fate. Turns out the gods we thought were dying were just sharpening their blades. Have you been waiting long for me?
I loved like the echoes after his voice there. The lyrics on this one right off the bat. It turns out the gods we thought were dying were just sharpening their blades. So not so much dying as lying in wait, I guess. I think, if I'm not mistaken, once again, Sleep Token fans are going to have to help me out here. This album kind of represents Vessel divesting himself or removing himself from the cycle of worship of sleep. So maybe he's saying that even in, he's yearning for this place of peace, maybe away from the devotion to this god, but finds that, her shadow still lingers in this place. And just, he's got a very rapid vibrato, which sort of, it almost makes it sound, I don't want to say fearful, but just, again, very emotionally charged. And the way, like, his voice will break sometimes on the ending of the line. Yeah, he's just, so that gives a sense of vulnerability. Yeah, really, really great. Like right off the bat, it's so striking, even though it's so simplistic. So we're gonna back up here a little bit, and I love these. Like, it's not a music video, but it's not just a still picture. It's a still picture with a few moments of activity, like the burning flag there. I wonder if we're gonna get some of the weird images at the end of this one. Okay, so let's back up a little bit more here, and yeah, let's let it roll.
Come now, swing wide those gates.
See that
'Cause I have paid my penance kindly, waiting time for judgment day. Somehow I knew my fate. Turns out the gods we thought were dying were just sharpening their blades. Have you been waiting long for me? I am the final dawn. I am the flood. What was missing from those scriptures will be written in my blood. Deep down into the mud. What good is all this talk of wings when there is nothing left above? Have you been waiting long for me? Have you been waiting long?
Okay, so when he said waiting long, like there's a catch in his voice there. It happened once before in it, which sounds like he's choking up emotionally. I've also noticed that he begins every phrase really strong, but sometimes on the end it will sort of trail off. Like there's sometimes where the breath will trail off, when the pitch is gone. And then you have this visual here of this. It looks like a once great kingdom that has become overgrown, again with this red plant of some kind. So when he's talking of, God, some of the lyrics on this are just amazing. He said, "What good is all this talk of wings when there is nothing left above?" So does that signify a dissatisfaction with his relationship with sleep, the god, the deity? Because again, you have the flag burning in this overgrown kingdom. So does this seem like sort of the loss of the ideal, or the idea of the ideal place? He's learning that even in something he thought would be perfect, can't be, because it's now become inhabited by an imperfect being. That's the issue with the talk of utopia, is or like anytime someone like thinks that they can legislate, or like a type of government can lead us to prosperity, it's like, no, governments are staffed with people. People are imperfect, so any kind of system of governance created by people for the rule of people is going to be imperfect. So it honestly seems like it's almost a loss of this idea of paradise. Yeah, really, let me back it up a little bit here. Really interesting stuff so far, because the tone of it is really somber and really sad. And there's some really vivid lyrics. What was missing from the scriptures will be written in my blood. That's kind of ominous. That's kind of a threatening sound there. But it's still delivered with sort of this sadness. Yeah, wow. Okay, I'm going to see if I can catch the start of this verse again and try to unpack all this.
For me, I am the final dawn.
Love the
I
harmony.
am the flood. What was missing from those scriptures will be written in my blood. Deep down into the mind. What good is all this talk of wings when there is nothing left above? Have you been waiting long for me? Have you been waiting long?
Okay, so you got a couple more of those, like, cracks, those breaks of his voice in there. I love the harmonies that begin this verse as well. That's something Vessel does really well, harmonize with himself. Whenever you have like a vocalist that has like a really unique tone, it's kind of a toss-up as to how they're going to sound, because sometimes their sound is so distinct, like it's impossible to blend. Bruce Dickinson is a good example of this. I love his voice, but when he harmonizes with himself, it has this weird dissonant sound, which works for a lot of Maiden's work, but it's not a soothing sound at all. Oddly, that's softened as he's gotten older. Vessel has a really good blend with himself. It's yeah, I think that's sort of a skill in and of itself. I also think he knows how to stack those harmonies. But what was missing from the scriptures shall be written in my blood. That's like saying, okay, the stuff that I didn't hear about, the bad stuff that lurks in this paradise. It's how can I word this? It's basically saying that the damage that these bad aspects of paradise do to him is going to be how the tale is told. What was missing from the scriptures will be written in my blood. So you don't hear about the shadows that follow you into paradise, but they will still damage you while you're there. It's depressing in a sense, but there's also a sort of a strength in recognizing that when you can sort of remove yourself from this ideal that there's a perfect place, then all that's left then is to learn how to deal with like life's imperfections. I think a lot of times people waste their energy thinking that once I do this, then all of my problems will disappear. I mean, Arcadia could be anything. Same thing with Eden. It could be like someone who thinks that when they become successful or they make a lot of money, that all their problems will disappear. It's like, no, in fact, some of them may magnify. Even if you think about Pink Floyd's The Wall, it's the guy who thinks, okay, if I just cut myself off from the outside world, all my problems will end. It's like, no, now you're vulnerable to the internal forces of decay. It's really thought-provoking, and it's delivered in such a soothing manner that it kind of like floats into your subconscious. It's really genius stuff. Vessel knows what he's doing. So, okay, let's keep going. This is already a 20-minute reaction. I'm sorry, there's no way I'm not going to listen to that again. Then I'll wrap it up and try to finish the analysis, I guess. Yeah, that caught me off guard. I know Vessel's got a lot of levels vocally, but yeah, wow.
For me, all you've been waiting on. For me.
Oh, the flag is completely burned now. Whoa. Okay, hold on. 1 second. Alright, some druid-like figures around this. I thought that was a tree. That looks like they're fighting some kind of living entity that's got branches like a tree. So you have these ones around it, either worshipping or fighting it. You have the thing in the center. Not quite sure what that is. And you have like a thing floating on the edge there that looks like it has the same like hood and cloak, but with branches coming out of it. Yeah, that is surreal. And honestly, genius on the part of Sleep Token, because like a lot of people have been talking about what these images really mean. But this looks like it could be like maybe what happened, what caused the downfall. The downfall of that kingdom that we saw in the pictures. The kingdom was overgrown. Its flag was burning. So, yeah, God, where do you start? So, I love how somber and soft the song was. I loved the longing that was present through it, and almost the disillusionment. It's like he achieved what he had been longing for, and it wasn't what he thought. Things that he thought he would be freed from were still there. And like that big gritty belt at the end, that seemed like just a big outburst of anger at the sort of the death of this dream of an idyllic place where he would lose his demons or his shadows. And then you had that was immediately followed by that beautiful like violin outro. That's not quite as unconventional as the saxophone. Violins have actually been in metal for a while. I remember like power metal bands would use it. Rhapsody brought violins in. Shoot, I can never remember the My Dying Bride, actually, which was like a very dark, almost funeral type sounding death metal band. They made extensive use of violins to give their songs a sad vibe. That actually, Sleep Token does bring to mind some old school like extreme metal sometimes, but that big gritty belt was like a final expression of anger, and then that violin outro was just sort of like the anger settling, and Vessel realizing, okay, now I just have to cope with this. This wasn't what I thought. Now I need to adjust. Yeah. Sleep Token is one of those bands, like whenever a band is like really hyped, I always tend to question. It's like, okay, are they that good? Sleep Token has got the goods. And like their lore has got me invested now because when I was looking up context for the song, I read that this album was sort of about, sort of breaking up from the cycle of worship and devotion to a deity, which in this case would be sleep. So maybe that's what this was expressing, that he thought by devoting himself to this other being, that all of his problems would go away, but they did not. Even in Arcadia, you walk beside me still. Like that was really powerful because at that point the music was very swelling. So when he's saying, even in Arcadia, you walk beside me still, while his voice was engulfed by all of that, beautiful sound. Yeah, it sort of seems like it's a breakaway. I mean, even like you can think of this as even a relationship. People think, okay, once when I'm married or when I have someone with me, all my, my life will be, everything in my life will reset and everything will be good and positive, and it's not the case. It, and also, honestly, an ideal life isn't one that doesn't have any battles. That's just it's maybe no unnecessary battles, but I mean that's what life is. It's one battle to the other, and that's what you do in between them. But yeah, so again, Sleep Token fans, educate me on the lore. Like, it seems like this could be symbolic of a lot of things, but definitely seems to be sort of about a disillusionment with something you thought was going to be transformative, I guess, or maybe being disappointed with the transformation. And there's like a lot of real world applications to that. But I would like to know where that fits in with the lore. Again, and like, oh, well, once I get this job, or once I marry the girl or the man of my dreams, my life will be just perfect. And there's no wait, because I'm still imperfect. An imperfect being can't have a perfect life, and life is not supposed to be perfect. It's a lot of times it's the imperfections that make life what it is. So yeah, God, I've been talking forever, but that's what Sleep Token does. They just make it's brain food. You know what I mean? So, guys, thank you very much. Raised by Wolves. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you can make it through all almost 30 minutes. And let us know what Sleep Token songs you guys would like us to check out. Mental health is real. Be a part of the start. And I really wanted to read the lyrics on this one. But you know what? No, this is already 30 minutes. So mental health is real. Be a part of the start. Music is your best support group. Vessel seems like he's a very unique and very expressive therapist. And take care of yourself so you can take care of others. Winter's coming. A lot of people are going to need support and going to need assistance. So thank you guys very much. Appreciate your time, and seeing you around.